I had been praying. I had been praying about him pooping. I had been praying about this. I got on my hands and knees in my bathtub. And I begged God to heal my son and to show me what I couldn't see. I also prayed on my relationship with David, because as you've seen on his page, September 27th, I definitely did break up with him. I don't know what his end game was the reply, because the LOL was 3 days later. We definitely talked on the phone after that text message, and the LOL came from me being on live and me egging his calls. So he texted me LOL, but of course he's a manipulator and it's going to tell you what is going to make him look good. But I paid myself from school, and I asked him, why do you keep pooping in your pants? And he's So this is after the shower, after I prayed. I went to go pick him up, and he's, you know, and I'm calm. I'm just calm, because I was so tired of yelling. I was so tired of being angry with him. I didn't understand what was going on, so I let it go. I gave it to God, and I was just calm. And I was working on being calm with him. Since I put the diapers on him for 4 days, just calm. Don't beat him for it. Don't yell at him for it. Just keep encouraging him to use the bathroom. Wesley, come on, use the bathroom. I don't want you in diapers. Come on, you know. He's fidgeting, and then he just opens up and tells me after 2 months. Originally, my son stated that it was Alex. Alex is my niece, his 3-year-old cousin, who was a girl. She's a little girl. He originally stated and said, me and Alex were playing, and I fell and I hit a stick. So I'm looking at him like, and I heard that before. He said that to me before, and I asked him what he was talking about. I'm like, are you okay? And he was like, yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not making sense. And I said, where'd the stick go? He starts pointing. So I say, like, I'm like, my heartbeat. I'm like, what you talking about? And then he say, Alex put something there. I say, what? What are you talking about? So I'm like, what are you talking about? Alex did what? What was it? He says, it was a little spiky thing. I said, where'd she get it from? I don't know. I said, what color was it? Silver and gold. I said, okay. Freaking out, because I don't know what's going on. I'm asking questions like, how did you feel? Did you like it? Were you guys playing? Like, what were y'all doing? I don't get it. And he said, I said, how did you feel? Like, how did you feel? He said, I felt sad. I said, why? He said, because no one had ever done that to me before. So I'm like what? Like, then it clicked, like the pooping in the pants, the insecurity. He felt violated. Baby Alex. What? I'm confused. I called David. He was the first nigga I called, because he was the closest one to me that was dealing with this the whole time with me. I say, Wesley just told me what happened. He said, what he say? I said, he said that, I don't know. He said, baby Alex put something up in him. I'm talking like that. When I get like this, I stutter and shit. And I'm like, I don't know. He's saying Alex put something up him, and I'm so confused. I don't get it. Like, I don't even know what to think right now, and I don't get it. I need to talk to her mom. I'm freaking out, crying, like heartbroken. I'm telling him, bro, I can't breathe. I'm crying because all I heard was how he felt about it. So I knew it was serious. And then all the other signs, it clicked. So I'm in my head thinking like, I don't know what's going on. I don't get it. I'm telling him, I don't get how she did that. Like, a 3-year-old, like, she's a little girl, and my son is almost 6. How does a little girl put something up you unwillingly? As a child, my son would have had to been bent over with his cheeks out or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would have had to have been spreading. There's no way that physically a little girl could just go up behind my son and dig in his pants and stick anything up him. It didn't make sense without him pushing her off. It didn't make sense. I'm asking him, how did she do that to you? It's not making sense. But I'm not questioning my son. I'm just listening. I ain't never questioned him. I never said I don't believe. I let him talk. I let him talk. So I tell David on the phone, what he said about initially being Alex. And I remember when I first said Alex, he was like, who was Alex? That little girl who was there? And I said, yeah. And he goes, oh, see, I told you something happened to him. I told you I know those signs because somebody in my family, that happened to them before. See, that's why I asked you if he's been around anybody new. And he did. So he is the only one out of everybody of my family that ever suggested that my son was touched. He had said it because he said, has he been around anybody new? And I knew what that implies. And I was like, no, he's only around the 5 people and all of them but one are girls. So I'm like, no, like nobody touched Wesley. He don't be nowhere. And that was it. I'm saying I never thought about it. But he was the only one. He goes, see, I told you something happened to him. I told you I know those signs. Somebody in my family, because it happened to them. That's why I told you to stop beating on him. That's why I told you just talk to him, because I knew something was wrong with him. You a good mother. Y'all gonna be good. So he goes, I'm gonna call you back. Click. I didn't hear from that fuck nigga for 2 weeks. Now, mind you, September 27th, I did break up with him. But I'm telling you in a story that he was my first person I called. So clearly that means we were still talking. No, we weren't officially dating, but he was still very much so involved in my life to where he was the first person I called about this. So for him to say, I'm gonna call you back, and I didn't hear from him for 2 weeks, that whole time, nothing. Every time I ever try to leave him, he'd be on my Instagram lives. He'd be blowing up my phone when I'm on Instagram live. He'll be subtweeting me. He'll be DMing me, texting me, calling me. There has never been a time that this man has ever stepped away and walked away from me for more than 3 days. 2 weeks after I just tell you, somebody you care about, somebody whose son you care about, I just tell you I'm crying, I'm heartbroken. I tell you what just happened to my son. You tell me, go call me back. We're going to be okay. You go call me back. And I don't hear from you for 2 weeks. You just didn't get back to me. That's what he told his mom. I just didn't get back to her. You didn't get back to me? Now, I didn't text I didn't text him because I found out that night the whole complete true story. So I'm not finna text him when I know what the fuck you did to my son. And see, you got to be smart. I went to the police as soon as I got the story, okay? I can't jeopardize the case. I'm not going to jeopardize the case and let him know I got the cops on you. So what? So he can do what he's doing now? What he's doing now is I'm getting threats. I'm getting threats that it's not safe for me to be in my house. Niggas is trying to expose my OnlyFans pages and shit. So that's what I'm going through right now. I wasn't going to let him know that I have police on your ass until it's about time that you about to find out. Because you about to find out. You about to find out. I don't give a fuck with who want to say what. Just give it a couple of days. Just be patient. Like I had to be patient. Be patient. It's coming. It's coming. Like I don't whatever. So anyways, 2 weeks, didn't hear from him, right? So boom, back to my son in the story. Back to Alex. So boom. Call Alex's mom. I call my sister. I'm like, what's he said? Da, 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 da. I'm throwing a fit. I'm at the crib. I'm yelling at everybody. Because everybody was telling me, no, there's no way Alex did that, Brittany. Alex didn't do that, Brittany. No. And I'm like, so you trying to say my son is lying? So I'm really stepping on everybody. I'm going hard because I never questioned him. And everybody was like, we're not saying he's lying. We know something happened to him. We know, everybody knows what he was dealing with. But they were saying, it's not Alex, Brittany. It couldn't have been Alex. And everybody, my sister's mom, she say, you know, oh, maybe he's covering for somebody. I didn't want to hear that shit because it's like, what are y'all talking about? That's what he said to me. I'm finna stand by what my son said. But before we attack that character, I guess I'll finish the how I found out exactly what happened. I get home from picking him up from school that day. After he told me about Alex, I talked to David. I drive home. So when I drive home, I'm talking to him some more. I asked him what he did, whatever. I don't really want to get into all the details. I don't like talking about that shit. But he said he pushed whatever he used, whatever Alex, because originally it was Alex. So he pushed it out. And I say, so what'd you do with it? He say, I hid it. He said, where'd you put it? He said, I threw it outside. So I said, outside? Go and walk me outside. So I walked outside. I got the cameras. October 1st. It was, I believe, 6 or 7. In the evening. I walk outside and he says clearly, I threw it over there. I stand where my son said he threw it. I'm walking in the grass. Mind you, in my head, I'm looking for a little spiky thing that is silver and gold. So, walking around the grass. Boom. I see these screws on the floor. I wasn't even going to pick them up. But that's the only thing that was on the ground. So I pick it up and I say, Wesley, you wasn't talking about this. He said, yeah, it was that. I said, no, it wasn't. I said, yeah, it was that. Broke down. 2 hours. 2 hours I sat outside. For 2 hours outside of my backyard. Front door wide open. Had flies all up in my crib. For 2 hours. Because he walked me to where he said he put it. I have no reason to... There's just... I mean, how he knew that little spiky thing was going to be outside in the grass and he could walk me straight to it. Broke my heart when I saw that it was screws. I'm thinking it was like a little toy or something, you know, because he said it was Alex. So it had to be I'm looking at these screws like something not right. I'm not questioning the screws though. Because that's where he said he pushed up out of him. That's where he said he put it, and that's where he walked me to. So I wasn't questioning the screws. I'm looking at the screws. Because the screws, I don't know what the screws look like. And I'm not going to show y'all because it's in evidence. But the screws was basically like tied together. Like it was three screws like this, but it was tied like that. Like they were like this. And there was like a gold, like 2 gold, like... I don't know what it is. Like why I don't know what it was, but it was like a little wire, and it was on the nails or on the screws. You can tell that around it was burned. Like you could tell that the way that it was done was by fire. Like it was just you hold the screws, I guess. I mean, I'm not a carpenter and I don't make shit with my tools, but the screws also good fact.
Does it hurt now still? No. Why didn't you tell me, baby?
Because when I was little, he didn't do that to me. But when I got bigger, he did it. When he was coming over at the house.
I know he did it one time though, right?
Yes.
Exact screws, except they're individual screws. There is no screws that are tied together. And besides that, my son did actually see him make it because he made them in front of him and baby Alex in the kitchen. He was in my kitchen and he put them damn screws together in front of the kids. And Wesley said, he asked him, what are you going to do with that? And he said, I'm going to do something with it. He said, my son said he had a blue lighter and he was tying the screws together. That's his interpretation of what David was doing in my motherfucking kitchen. So I'm looking at this like somebody, first of all, somebody made this. Second of all, these screws don't come like this. So it's like, where the fuck did it come from? And then why would a little girl put this shit up his ass? Even if it was her. Let's just say, if y'all want to say that it was her. Screws? A 3-year-old? Screws? Screws? What 3-year-old is gonna pick up and I asked him, I said, Wesley, would you ever put this up? Somebody said no. A 3-year-old screw? So I'm like, But I'm still not questioning him. I show the screws to everybody. Everybody, no, she ain't do that. No, her mom, no, Alice, there's no way. Brittany, think about it, Brittany. Like, and I'm like, no, y'all playing me. Y'all playing my child. I'm going in on air. I'm ready to kick my sister out. I'm ready to get up. I'm ready to fuck everybody up. I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, this is what it is. So he talked to his dad. I told his dad, I say, oh, he said Alex put something up him. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. This is that night. So he said, that don't sound right. So he took the phone. He talked to my son. He said, listen, if you are scared or you are trying to hide, you know, from somebody, you're too scared to come out and say something, do not be scared. Do not hide whoever did this to you. So I never heard it from nobody else. I only heard it once my baby daddy said to my son. Everybody was telling me that, but why would I want to think that my boyfriend touched my child? That was never, he was never in my head. It was never a question. But I had the nights and I found the dates. I got the cameras, the Ring cameras, and when he threw the screws out, the screws outside, I got the time because baby Alex was there. So that helped the fact that he did say that it was Alex, because I was able to find out what night this was, because I only had baby Alex 5 times since I've been in his house. So I was able to take his story and put the timeline and find the dates with all the evidence that I have. I had Alex for 3 days. I had her August 5th, August 6th, August 7th. David was at my house August 6th. He left that night. I had Alex from the 5th, 6th, 7th. So originally when I'm hearing Alex, I'm not even looking at the day he was here. Right? I'm trying to figure out which day. But with what my son said with the screws, it was this night. So who was in my house this night is the first question. If it wasn't Alex, because I didn't report it on the 1st or the 2nd, because I'm not just a mother or a person who's just going to go run to fuck police and go run to fuck Instagram and say, oh my gosh, this person touched my son and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. No, I had to make sure before I made the report that I knew what I was talking about. Because I can't help my son out if I don't know. I can't help him out. So I had to wait till the story made sense and I believed that I had the true story. And then I reported it. I reported on the 3rd. Okay, because this is discipline. This isn't me just flying off the handle and me making shit up and me wanting to ruin somebody. No, this is me listening to some crazy, bizarre story. Me trying to process it and not trying to do anything irrational without knowing what happened. So after he talked to his dad, I'm thinking in my head. I'm babying him. And I said, David was here though. And I was saying, I wonder what possessed Alex to do something like that. Like, how could she do something sick like that? And I was like, David was here. Maybe some of his energy rubbed off on her. That's what I thought in my head. Like, just some like stupid thought. And then I just stopped myself. And then I just was like, you know, could have been David. So at the end of the day, as a mother who heard my son's story and didn't question him not one time, I told him I didn't believe that it was Alex who did it. And the second that I said that to him, I said it to him, because like I said, I never questioned him. The second I sat him down on my bed and I said, I don't believe you. And I explained to him the importance of lying on baby Alex. I'm telling him, like, Wesley, this is big. This is very serious. I don't know if you understand, but you can't lie on anybody. On anybody. Alex is your cousin. She's your friend. If she didn't do this, you can't lie on her. But if she did it, it's okay. You still have to tell me and we'll figure it out. He go to say it wasn't Alex. Who was it? It was nobody. He started to say it was nobody. Then he started to say that he sat on something and he sat on it. And I'm just listening to him change the story. And I'm like, nope. I know something happened to you. It's okay. Cause I already know what's good. I already knew what time it was. I knew what time it was. As soon as my first time questioning him on Alex and he flipped his story, he ain't flip about nothing else. Everything I done asked him for 2 days straight, pounded everything. Was it the screws? I pounded everything to every detail of it except who it was. And the first time that I questioned him on it, he folds. I already knew it was up. So he's seeing me get emotional. He's seeing me like I couldn't think straight. I couldn't think straight. So I asked him as a mother, was it David? And he do this. No, he do this little smirk. He got this little smirk. Kids make faces when they lie. That's why kids aren't good liars, because they make faces. I know my son's face when he lies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know his face. I saw his face. I already knew. But I'm trying to hold it in. So I went down every male, my brothers, my sister's brothers. Every male, was it so-and-so? Was it so-and-so? Was it so-and-so? And I'm looking at his nose. I'm looking at the way he's answering my questions. They weren't like David's, no. I asked him again. And he just looked at me. And he said it was David. So, that brings us to the video that David posted on his page. As soon as he said that, I done broke down. I done had an episode. But I said, let me grab my phone. I need to record this because this is it. This is it. This is it. Because at the end of the day, a human being who was hearing his story, it wasn't given that the 3-year-old could physically do that with those screws. It wasn't given that she could make the screws. It wasn't given that she's sick like that. But now David, the only other person who was here besides my sister, but nobody blamed my sister. Not even David. As he's on the internet, he could easily said, you know, it was your sister. Like, why don't you ask her? He never said that because everybody knows it ain't her. Everybody knows that. So it's easier for him to blame it on the 3-year-old. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's easier for him to blame baby Alex. Yeah. But anyways, I grab my phone. I push record. My son see that I'm recording. And in the video, I'm reiterating what I already said off camera because it's already happened. But I never recorded it because I went on my phone before this. I wasn't recording nothing because I'm still figuring out. And it was a lot for me to handle, to be honest. I wasn't even focusing on my phone. But when he said that, I knew I had to record that. Nah, I got to get this. I got it because this is serious. So, I reiterate to him in the video that he played. I don't even know how much of the video he played, but I have the whole video, but whatever. The video was me reiterating to not lie on anybody because it's serious. I made it clear to him. I'm talking to him as a mother to my son, not to lie on anybody. This is serious. I say, what happened? He go to say, I sat on, like he nervous again. He going back to saying he sat on it again. I know you didn't sit on no goddamn screws. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting nervous because I'm recording it now. I'm breaking down. I'm clear as day. Like, I'm breaking down. He's saying that he's backing away. I'm not coaching my son in that video. I understand what coaching is. I very much so get what coaching is. But I'm not coaching him. I mean, if you want to take it that way, fine. I mean, I wouldn't have sent it if I thought that I did anything wrong. Honestly, the video was sent because it showed my crying. I cried in that video for, like, the video clip when he first said it was probably like a minute or two, and the last 7 minutes was just me wailing. And for anybody to question if I would lie, I sent him that video and I said, now listen, I don't know what kind of actor I'd be to be crying like that, my nigga. So that's what the context was of the video. And now as far as like, so basically I'm saying I was never coaching him. It was hard for him to talk. You have to understand that he's 5 and he was molested by his mom's boyfriend, who was a man. And my son is a boy. My son is well aware of his feelings, was well aware that he was violated. So it was hard for him to talk. I had to help him talk. I am not coaching him. I never once said, you need to say it, or You said it was him, right? I said, no. You said it was David. Keep going. Keep going. We're not going to go back. We're not going to go backwards. Keep going. Tell me what happened. Let me help you. That video is very long. And only parts of the video is being shown. I uploaded the video of me with the crying because it's just like, I don't understand how anybody could sit here and think that I would go all this extra mile and I'd be crying. I don't even cry like that. It hurts. It's embarrassing. It's fucking hard to hear. I took him to the hospital October 3rd, and I made the police report. Once I talked to my son, and he came clean about David, and we went over the story a billion million more times. I went through my phone. I got everything together. I got all that I could get together that I can bag up, and I took my son to the hospital on October 3rd, and I made the police report. And I reported that David Salisbury sexually assaulted my child. Now, as far as everything else in a police investigation, I don't have to talk about that, and I'm not. As far as why people are saying, why am I talking now? Like I said, when I first came on here, this is not the easiest thing to sit up online and talk about. Because at the end of the day, people are going to say that I'm lying, and it's hard to hear. But I'm not backing down for my son, and I never will. And I will forever be my son's mouthpiece, and I owe that to my son. I owe for his voice to be heard. I owe him that. I had shit happen to me I ain't never speak on. Maybe a nigga thought I wasn't gonna talk because I ain't handle my situations like that. But my son is a whole different ball. I will put my life on the line for my child. At the end of the day, I gotta be smart. I gotta move smart. Because the only thing my child has is me. If I go to jail because I go do something stupid like I wanted to, who gonna take care of my child? Well, he gonna have both his parents in jail. And that shit happened to him. Who gonna take care of him? Who? Y'all don't understand the strength that it took me to sit my ass in my house. To not speak on the internet. Because I couldn't jump any gun. I couldn't jump any gun because it had to be done the right way. And the right way was y'all heard my son's voice. Y'all heard my son say it. Fuck me, fuck him, fuck what anybody got to say. At the end of the day. Because he's painting the narrative like I'm just, I don't know. Like I would do something crazy like this because we don't talk no more. It's beyond me. But I posted my son. I put one of not the hardest thing that I've ever gone through in my life. My son is in therapy. I'm not in therapy yet. I don't feel like it. I'll never have no reason to play